Mike Steele.
What it do, Mr. Jim?
We're all stars now in the woke show, my man.
Oh, no. That's so good.
Why did it take so long? We need to, because we are the wokest meme cast as far as podcasts are concerned, but sometimes there's just not enough time to be woke on every single bit of conspiracy out there.
Yeah, we can only cover so much as one single woke cast. And so we've decided to introduce a second woke cast, the Woke Show, which we're all stars in.
Yes.
To try and give people a little bit more like, hey, having trouble sleeping at night? Well, this isn't going to fucking help, because here we are.
Here we are. We're going to get, it's about time to get woke. What time it is? Time to get woke.
Oh, God, all these songs that work perfectly.
So this is a new thing that I was kind of asleep. I was asleep on for a while. And I just heard this recently that our hero, Alex Jones, is actually dead comedian Bill Hicks.
So how old is this? I feel like it's wrong to call it a conspiracy because it's clearly true.
Yes, yeah. It's clearly true. I guess the first things I'm seeing on it are back in 2014, Texas Monthly, talking about the conspiracy, and then InfoWars actually comments on it as well.
Let's just call it a theory, because I feel like as a woke gentleman myself, the term conspiracy like speaks down on all these theories, and no one acts like, oh, science, it's just a theory. Oh, ooh, yeah, it's a conspiracy.
Now, Bill Hicks, I don't know a lot of his comedy specifically. I've definitely heard some bits.
I know he's a legend in
yes.
to comedians. Comedians love him, and the comedy scene at large respects him.
I think he's known. It's kind of almost like a hack bit at this point, but I think it's traced back to Bill Hicks as the one about the president and how you make all these promises, and then as soon as you get elected, they bring you into this room and they show you the JFK assassination in like HD from all different angles, and they're like, yeah, so that's where we're at right now. I'm pretty sure that's Bill Hicks.
That's good.
And I know Bill Hicks as everyone says that Dennis Leary basically like ripped him off completely, and Dennis Leary like stole his life.
Oh, wow.
When he died or whatever.
Was Dennis Leary doing it beforehand, and he just like leaned into it after he died, or did he wait till he died and he's like, now I'm Bill Hicks?
I guess, I mean, even on his wiki here, I guess they were friends. Then in 93, Hicks was angered by Leary's album No Cure for Cancer, which featured lines and subject matter similar to Hicks' routine. According to the American Screen, the Bill Hicks story, upon hearing the album, Bill was furious. All these years, aside from the occasional jibe, he had pretty much shrugged off Leary's lifting. Comedians borrowed, stole stuff, even bought bits from one another. Milton Berle and Robin Williams are famous for it. This was different. Leary had practically taken line for line huge chunk of Bill's act and recorded it. The friendship abruptly ended as a result.
Comedy always seems weird from that side of things.
It's weird because, I mean, since we're getting kind of woke, I've heard Louis C.K. talk about Dennis Leary, like, stealing stuff from him as well. Like, when back in the old days, I think he said that song Asshole was basically stolen from Louis bit, where it was just like Dennis Leary was hosting the show, and Louis just did some bit about being an asshole and not caring about it. I mean, not an amazingly original bit, but enough that then when Leary came back to like introduce the next comedy, he's like, oh, wow, that's a cool bit, like asshole. And he just starts riffing on it like right then and there. And just, I mean, I guess it's debatable, but it's still clearly like he just took something and made it, made a big deal of it.
Inspiration is a fucking blurry line.
Yeah. But I mean, we're not here to talk about that. We're basically just setting it up now. He, according to his wiki here, is diagnosed with pancreatic cancer on June 16th, 1993. It spread to his liver. He started receiving weekly chemotherapy while he was still touring and recording his album, working with other comedians. After being diagnosed, he would often joke that any given performance would be his last. The public was unaware of his condition. He performed his final show of his career at Caroline's in New York, January 6, 1994. He moved back to his parents' house in Little Rock, Arkansas. called his friends to say goodbye before he stopped speaking on February 14th. He died of pancreatic cancer on February 26, 1994, at the age of 32.
32? That fucking sucks.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Although, the good thing is, we're finding out now he didn't die.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it would have sucked if he died. He did definitely get cancer, but luckily he got cured. And now he's got a hell of a career.
So, I will say we haven't watched this beforehand. So, I'm having a weird flashback of someone being like, well, not flashback, but I'm having a weird flash of someone being like, you see this theory about Dom Toretto being a Terminator? And they think it's serious and it's not?
It's hard when it's woke stuff, Jim, because woke stuff is almost never tongue-in-cheek.
Yes, that's
almost
true.
Never. And considering how much, because we do our homework, Jim, we did, 30 seconds of homework before this show?
Yeah, we did.
I saw enough of it to feel like it was not just a goof that with some heart and some cleverness created by one of the people on a popular internet podcast.
Yes, and actually, you know what? I'm going to record this video. We'll put the video up.
That's my Marilyn Manson.
All right, so yeah, let's take a peek. These videos are always great. This one's even on Vimeo, so that way you know it's even more serious.
Yeah, it's probably got more gore and tits in it.
So,
I like when Alex Jones has fun.
Now, see, part of what prompted this is because I was watching Alex Jones on Rogan recently, and I started talking about it a bit because Brian was messaging me like, "Oh, Alex Jones is crazy," and in a weird way, I was defending Alex Jones.
I almost always find myself in that spot too now.
Alex Jones is kind of like the pop song that we shit on and then we listen to a lot and then we like it.
It's our Every Day I'm Shuffling or whatever.
Basically, and part of it is that the fact we've kind of gone through the stages of Alex Jones.
Yes.
Because we've been watching Alex Jones for like 5 years now.
Yeah.
And we're past the point of like, what the fuck is this guy? Fucking idiot. You know, and we understand that sometimes he's just having fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's just doing bits.
When he's out on a golf course talking about how Pokemon Go is hypnotizing you.
And he's calling it Pokemon or whatever. Like sometimes, like we're starting to realize that there's some self-awareness there. And he knows what gets people like talking and shit. I'm not saying he's not crazy. I mean, he definitely has some insane fucking theories and he'll gloss over shit and he'll just do it really fast so you don't have time. But sometimes he's just goofing, laughing, dancing, and that's what he's doing right now, and I love it.
Just singing a song and smiling.
Double O dumbass.
What? So
and I believe that that there's this agenda in mainstream media, and I think it's fairly easy to back this up, to keep people stupid, docile, and apathetic, and therefore the elite who own these corporations and the families that own the corporations, even fewer people, their agenda is to keep us stupid and apathetic. That's why I love public access, and again, thanks for having me on.
Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again.
Now, it's great because some of these clips, like that particular, I mean, it's like young Alex Jones with a mullet. We're looking at Bill Hicks on stage. Now, I don't know if I would see that and be like, oh, that guy looks like Alex Jones. But when you say Alex Jones is Bill Hicks, now I'm like, oh, my God, that looks just like him. That's clearly him.
Well, we need to lay down some ground rules. Do we call Alex Jones old Bill Hicks or Bill Hicks young Alex Jones?
All right, let's call Bill Hicks young Alex Jones.
Okay.
Let's work with Timeline Prime right now.
Because the gears are already like cranking in my head. Because Jim, one of the things you know about Alex Jones is that he's got a voice like this. This is how Alex Jones talks.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to disguise an existing voice that you've heard plenty of times if you talk like this.
Yeah,
Maybe you smoke a lot of cigarettes, you do something like that. Helps disguise your voice, but you have the same cadence.
Yep.
If you have the same cadence, that's impossible to hide. You can't always hide that. And I'm already noticing that the way he says corporation, the way he talks about social structure and stuff, he has that same, like, there's something behind that he's saying it the same way and talking about it the same way.
Yep.
or I could admire someone who's a better comic than I am.
Look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account and my family. Has to be real.
Oh no, Jim! I've already bought in. Jim, did you just buy in right now?
Yeah, it's funny because we always joke about how we goof on these things and then we
believe them
kind of get
immediately.
into them. But this one, yeah, dude, we're like a minute in. We're a minute 6 into this video, and just seeing him, like side by side, we're like, all right, that's him.
Well, and he made that face and he did that voice, and I was like, oh my god, that sounds like someone doing an impression of Alex Jones on purpose.
Better comic than I am.
State power will always win. We'll paint you as a child molester, and we'll paint you as a methamphetamine manufacturer. We'll say any lie we want over our propaganda machine, the mainstream media, and we'll burn you and your children in your home. So you just be apathetic, America. You stay docile, and don't you ever forget, you're free to do what we tell you.
This video will provide irrefutable and immutable proof that Bill Hicks was recruited by the CIA to become the controlled opposition of the mainstream media. Bill Hicks assumed the identity of Alex Jones as he was continuously fed approved intelligence by his CIA handlers.
Now they found some good picture comparisons here.
Yeah.
But why? The CIA is against the mainstream media?
See that the CIA angle. That's where these things always lose me.
Yeah.
Is them being like this government agency decided to do this and here's their plan, because I'm like, well, that's the stuff you can't prove. That's just you being a nut.
Yeah.
It's one thing to notice interesting comparisons and ways where things overlap, but like as soon as someone starts talking about that, that's where they lose me a little bit.
Well, especially because these types of people, I mean, maybe this particular conspiracy nut's a little different, but usually it's like the CIA is working against us for blah, 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 blah. But then sometimes they'll be like, well, yeah, and the CIA is on our side for this. It's very convenient on who the enemy is and who we're going up against.
Yeah, that's true. That very frequently the FBI and the CIA are against you, except when they're not and they're totally for you. Another thing, Jim, as long as my gears are cranking, Alex Jones is the most bland fake name I've ever heard in my life.
That's true.
It's like naming yourself John Smith.
It is someone's fake name. It is a fake name to come up with.
In order to create a truth movement of false hope. The information that Agent Hicks was given.
Oh, so it's like a double cover type deal.
Is it like the thing people always say about like X-Files and Truman Show, where they're like, they only let those get made so you think they were impossible?
Yeah, it's kind of like how, like hardcore conspiracy guys, Alex Jones is hack. To like everyone else is like, oh, Alex Jones, he's the head of conspiracy theories. But then to the people that really believe him, like, no, Alex Jones is just trying to make us look bad, and he's actually an operative for the government.
Like Chris Hardwick with the nerd community, where we're like, no, fuck him, he doesn't represent us. But then the regular public is like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's like the Big Bang
biggest
Theory.
geek.
Yeah.
Was for the sole purpose of directing and leading an awakening public to only the partial truths of what the one world government is really up to.
Yes, I mean, if you talk to Alex for any length of time, you discover all kinds of things that you didn't know about the world.
We've blown it wide open.
You have. You have absolutely blown it wide open. But it leaves me with a huge question for you, Alex. And it's you have uncovered the New World Order, which is deadly. It's full of what you call people who are criminals. Well, this is what I'm coming to. It's full of criminals, etc., who seek to run the world and will kill anybody who gets in their way. And you are almost, and have been, a lone crusader powering against them. So how come? How are you still alive? How are you still alive? How are you still alive?
Why am I alive?
Well, no, which is listen, which is the explanation? One, they don't exist, or two, you're part of the conspiracy.
No, let me tell you a story.
No false narratives or redirecting rants allowed, because this time we tell the story. Okay, so yeah, Alex clearly went into some sort of false narrative as a reply to that.
But that was meant to show like that in this guy's eyes, it's either fake or Alex Jones is a part of it, and he knows it's not fake. So there's a giant red flag being like, "Hey, man, how?" Because I will put my feet in the shoes of a nut job really quick, Jim.
Yeah. All right.
That's a great question. How is Alex Jones allowed to do all this stuff and say all this stuff? especially when people maybe at first you like brush him off as a wacko.
Yeah.
But now that people don't brush him off as a wacko, and he has a following and people believe him, and people kind of like start with him and then go in other directions. And if he's waking people up, how does he get away with that unless he's immune to it because he's a part of it?
Well, yeah, and that's a weird, like, circular argument you get stuck in, because then Alex Jones, I'm sure, will say something like he's too big at this point, where if you take him out, he becomes a martyr, and then he's proven correct. But then the other side of it is why this is Castle Jennifer Bassett make this video. It would almost seem easier to take this person out because they have no audience and they're trying to preach the truth. And then it's like, well, no, but I'm too small time.
Yeah,
for me to be a target. And then it's like, but Alex Jones. It's like, well, clearly he's just a figurehead, and they're all figureheads. It's a giant pyramid scheme brought on by the New World Order to control you, to feed you, to put fluoride in the water and give you vaccinated.
Than we imagine. In fact, that's how I pitched it to the networks, exactly. I said, I'd like to do a show where I rid the world of all these fevered egos that are tainting our collective unconscious. And the guy at CBS said, will there be... And,
So really quick for the listeners.
Sure.
Yeah,
the context of this audio explains that this was taken not long before he died. And the man positing this theory is saying, does this sound like a man who's dying? Bill Hicks was not known to do the whole, like, make up a things for the sake of his jokes in his comedy. So why would he be talking about all this stuff if he knew he was going to die and then died as soon as he did?
Boom, a check falls in my lap, and I'm a producer. I never knew it was that easy. All these years I've been trying to write scripts and characters and plots and stories that had meaning. Will there be... Sure. Boom, I'm out. I'm Al. I'm a producer now.
Was he about to say, I'm Alex Jones, says the text?
Oh, no.
Wasn't he just saying, I'm out, or I'm a producer?
I mean, I don't think it was, I don't know.
It
but
definitely
he wasn't
didn't
about
sound
to,
like he was going to say, I'm Al Jones.
It doesn't, it does not sound like he was about to say, I'm Alex Jones. Well, so this theory might go deeper than we thought. Is this saying that then Bill Hicks is a fake persona, that Alex Jones was Alex Jones all along, and he created Bill Hicks and then reverted back to Alex Jones?
That'd be a dream within a dream.
Yeah.
In Hollywood.
Forensic. Oh, here we go. Forensic evidence
article
time.
at Pennsylvania.com titled Forensic Odontology, Missing and Unidentified Persons, it states, dental records have been used for over 200 years in this country for the identification of deceased.
The noses don't look the same.
The teeth are uniquely qualified for identification in many ways, but especially since they are virtually impossible to destroy. They survive fire, decomposition, and submersion in water or earth for many years. This survivability and the fact that most persons have dental records is
those
the
teeth
key
are
to
like
the success
crazy
of
the
dental
same.
records for the identification of deceased. Even now, with many persons having no dental restorations, the teeth and their surrounding structures provide a myriad of distinct characteristics useful in identification. For the next images, we will be paying special attention to the distinct characteristics of the two top central incisors, the bottom right cuspid, and the bottom right lateral incisor as seen in this diagram.
Oh my God, I didn't realize how detailed they're going. Yes, it is obvious that the teeth belong to the same individual, but let's walk through the formal analysis. We may not walk through this formal analysis.
In this first image, we have red...
Yes, they look similar, but when it comes down to it, you're still looking at a picture.
Yeah.
It's not like you have dental records and then you're comparing them. It's like, look at this picture that's similar.
Arrows pointing to the two
big thing
top
is that
central
bottom
incisors.
tooth there, though.
Yeah, that tooth right there. That one you're talking about, yeah, that one's a little
trademark
crazy.
gap in between the incisors. There was some dental sets behind, but
now they're going to talk about his jowls.
the individual crookedness and displacement of the teeth have remained the same. Next,
Oh, was it earlobes?
let's take a look at some other irrefutable forensic evidence
Man,
into
they
the
love
true
saying
identity
irrefutable.
of
Yeah.
Alex Jones. Bill Hicks had many moles, but the most defined mole that he had was below his jaw on the left side of his neck.
It does look like
In
he
the
had a
image on
mole
the
removed
left,
there, Mike.
you can see where the
What do you have to
large
say about
mole
it
was
now,
located
bro?
on
That's
Bill
true.
Hicks.
That's actually
and on
very
the image
true.
on the right, you can clearly see a scar where that same mole had been removed.
It's great that they would identical chin scoop. It's great that they could go in and like modify his earlobes.
Most of Bill Hicks' moles
But they couldn't
were
just like
removed
knock a
during
tooth out and
plastic
put a fake one
surgery.
in or some
But
shit.
if you look closely, you will find either scars, blemishes, or smaller freckles that were not
Alex Jones does have
removed
little
because they were
ears.
small
He's a
and
little-eared
more
man.
likely
He's got
to
little
go
baby
unnoticed.
ears.
Maybe that's due to the
There is
surgery.
absolutely
That's the only
no
way you can.
doubt
They
that
had to
Bill
make them
Hicks
smaller.
knowingly, intentionally, and willfully became a fraud and deceiver
Yeah,
of the
that
nations.
picture on the left, if you told me that
He
was a young
willingly
Alex
chose
Jones, like
to
in his
become
art
the
school
controlled
days, I'd believe
opposition
it.
of the one world government. He has full knowledge that he only reveals the partial truths to his audience in order to keep them distracted from what the one world government is really up to. Their plans,
Imagine if-
their deceptions, and their
Imagine the truth of what if what Alex Jones was saying was only like a little morsel of
What a nightmare.
when he's talking about psychic vampires and like pedophiles and stuff. It's like
Tree people.
Sure, that's true, but we're only letting you know that because you don't even want to know what the fuck's over here.
Oh, yeah,
we
that-
got crazy shit going
The
over here.
scary stuff that happens in the dark.
crimes are fully revealed at testimonyofthechewitnesses.com.
What?
But the forensic evidence does not end with just teeth, moles, marks, like mindsets and actions. The most damaging evidence to prove that the Alex Jones you know today is not who he says he is. There was another Alex Jones. He was
Oh,
the
this
Alex
might be what you were
Jones
talking
who
about,
was
Mike.
replaced by Agent Bill Hicks.
So
Paid
yes,
very close attention.
there was Alex Jones. Then he decided to be Bill Hicks for a while, and then he went back to Alex Jones.
So Alex Jones was a real person that at some point in time, CIA agent Bill Hicks replaced.
Yeah.
And then transitioned back into
the Alex
Jones persona to kill off the Bill Hicks version of himself.
to the video clips that you are about to watch.
We're sick and tired of it. We stand for this country, and we will defend it. The United Nations is a tyrannical, authoritarian propaganda arm. And
Yeah, this is where they have to like jump through hoops with some of that stuff because there's probably like Alex Jones has been doing his thing for a long time,
right?
So there's probably stuff that runs parallel to Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
So they need to explain it somehow.
military arm of international control.
Well, you know, I'm mad at myself, and I've said it before, because I do...
Is that really Bill Hicks?
No, because that just... Well, but even the last video, both of these videos just look like young Alex Jones.
Yeah, but is this video here not just young Alex Jones?
It's got to be them, like...
Is this a
taking
trickery?
liberties and saying Bill Hicks on young Alex Jones,
I apologize
right?
for listening to this on the audio, but basically...
Well, we're including the video, too.
Yeah, we're including the video as well. But basically, we're looking at young Alex Jones.
Yeah, these last two videos have just been young Alex Jones.
The title's fucking with my head because it's saying Bill Hicks. And I know you could just easily write that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out if...
It did they?
Yeah.
Job. People say I do a good job on my TV and radio show, and to tell you the truth, I don't.
No, that's Alex
This
Jones.
is such a war. I should be devoted to this 12 hours a day.
That's Alex Jones. They just decided to write Bill Hicks on it.
In my arms. Yeah, that's Alex Jones, baby.
Oh, wait. That is some other guy. Who's that guy?
That's not Alex Jones. Jim, what is happening?
So that's the real Alex Jones that they
killed and replaced with Bill Hicks.
I wonder if that's what they say, that they killed him. I guess they had to have, right?
Yeah.
All right. We're talking about some serious
No, that's what I'm
issues
saying.
today.
Who is that?
We're talking about how they got us divided. It should not be front page news that Fuzzy Zeller said something racist, even though he's an old, fat racist. Who cares about an old, fat racist that says something about an awesome man, Asian, African-American, who's worth probably $100 million? Who cares about words? We're Americans. We're all together in this boat. The man with the plan is here, Jeff Davis. What do you have to say?
It's like you said, Alex, keep the small fish in turmoil so the big fish can rob and rule over.
That's it.
That's the game plan.
That's it.
All of the images
All
you're
the
about
images that you're about to see came from the videos that you have just viewed, all of which were created in 1997. The image on the left was taken from a video produced on April 24th, 1997. In it we see a man who appears to be in his mid-20s. The image on the right was also taken from a video produced in 1997. In it we see a man who appears to be much older, with a completely different nose, different colored hair, and not nearly as lean and physically fit as the individual on the left. His neck is much thicker, as in chubbier, and his overall skull structure appears noticeably different.
Yeah, like now I'm catching myself just watching the video and like really processing it.
No. Did you see me just kind of like jaw agape, just like learning things?
We have a much younger and leaner individual on the
Yes,
left.
because there's some
and
fucking
an older,
nobody
thicker individual
that they're
on the
saying
right.
is the real Alex Jones.
Looking at their necks, we see the individual on the left has well-defined neck muscles and a well-defined jawline. The individual on the right does not have well-defined neck muscles.
Real Alex Jones
or
was a
jawline.
looker.
Yeah, he's a real handsome
Also,
young
we
man.
have a much clearer image of the hairline.
Chiseled
And
jaw.
the individual on the left actually appears
He could have
to
been
have a
slammed.
noticeably different hairline than the one on the right. The eyebrows
Maybe
and
not
hair are also
hairline wise.
noticeably
That
different
could just
in
be his
color,
hair's combed forward.
thickness, and texture.
But yeah, the chin and the age that he
Again,
looks.
we have two
No
completely
way.
different individuals. The body
Those are
builds
both in
completely
97?
different,
No.
as well as a completely
Maybe he
different
just had a
facial
rough few
structure.
months though. We don't
The
know.
individual
Yeah, he got
on the
killed and
right
replaced.
is
That's a
much
pretty
darker,
rough couple months.
Especially considering that the image was taken
Don't
outside.
get much rougher than that,
The
Jim.
individual on the left is very lean and muscular, and the one on the right, while he may have some muscle build, he is far from lean. It is important to note
Damn,
that at
roasted
this
him.
time, in 1997, Jones would have only been 23 years old.
It's funny because I was actually watching one of our Alex Jones commentaries. It was from a few years ago, and he talks about like how he's not 40 yet, and we're like, "What? What do you do? How is this guy not 40?" So it kind of fits.
Yeah, it makes
fits
sense that
in
a
line.
man that was older than he is supposed to be has been playing that role.
While Bill Hicks spent a lot of time practicing and imitating the person of Alex Jones, certain genetic features were missed during the plastic surgery.
Dimples.
Oh my God.
So what happened to the first Alex Jones?
Although it's weird,
Was he
like
taken out?
they would do all this plastic surgery, but they wouldn't give him like liposuction or make him work out for, you know what I mean? Because like he died in '93 and he took this guy's spot in '97, so he couldn't just like lose some weight in 4 years with all this planning they're doing.
Out by the CIA and replaced by Agent Bill Hicks? Was he paid off to disappear and then be replaced by Agent Bill Hicks? Or was the first Alex Jones also a CIA agent, and for whatever reason,
imagine if
he
he
was
was
unable
also
to fulfill
another-
his current assignment?
Well, no, yeah, that's the thing.
So he
maybe
needed to be replaced?
they had a long-term
Well,
plan,
it's
but things fell
unclear
apart,
who the
like
first
Ben
Alex
Affleck
Jones
with all the
really
DC
was,
movies.
or what
Yes.
happened
And they just
to
had
him.
to go,
What
shit,
is
we need to
clear
step
is
in
that
and
there
replace
was a
our original
replacement.
Alex Jones.
We got to call an audible on this.
Replacement who had begun his career as a comedian and is now an actor in a reality show of
It's like in
false
TV
hope.
shows when black guys
He is a
get better
quite
jobs and they just
convincing
replace them with
actor.
another
His
kind
true
of like,
identity is
basically the same
William
black guy.
Melvin Hicks.
Oh yeah, like on New Girl.
Yeah,
See
yeah.
that? Did everyone see that?
Date
It
of
is
birth,
important for the
Alex
viewer
Jones.
of this video to know that Bill Hicks is 12 years older than what his character, Alex Jones, claims to be. That being said, let's play a little game.
And yeah, Alex Jones looks
How
12 years
old
older than he
is
is.
that man?
Ah, Jim, my favorite game.
Nice, yeah.
30 or 42?
Yeah, 42.
Yeah, he's 42. They're showing us a picture of Alex Jones in 2004. Now in 2006.
32 or 44?
Yeah,
you know
I
what?
would say that guy was 44 for sure.
To Alex Jones' credit, he looks amazing compared to how he looked in 2006.
Yeah, he is.
The
He
way he
has
looks
lost
today.
a ton of weight. And he looks stocky
Yeah.
and like kind of like he does. He looks Not muscular, but not fat. Like he
Yeah.
looks like a bigger guy.
35 or 47.
The weight loss helps, but
yeah,
I'd
'cause
still.
He doesn't look. What did they say? 35.
He definitely doesn't look 35.
He doesn't quite look.
You're
40
35, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
He doesn't quite look 47.
I would never
but
mistake you for 47.
Yeah.
And with this guy, I'm like, he's definitely not 35.
Yeah, he's definitely not 35 though.
39 or 51.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does look like he's more 451.
39, no way.
From comedian to journalist.
Going from a comedian to a journalist was not a difficult transition for Bill Hicks. He had already begun his new journalism career when he went to Waco.
Today is day 7 outside the compound of the mount called Mount Carmel of the Branch Davidian breakaway group of the Latter-day Saints Seventh-day Adventist group, Yahweh Division. Back to you, Tom.
Ugh, not a great journalist, though.
But more than that, Bill Hicks was given a specific
What the
role
hell
to
is he
play,
doing?
a role that he had also incorporated into his comedy.
My friends, the information that you
He
are
does
about
do
to
bits a
witness-
lot,
Yes.
Alex Jones.
Oh,
All
shit,
of
you're
my
right. He
years of
loves
research
bits.
is
That's
the
what we were talking about that at the beginning of this show. He loves doing bits.
Yeah,
It's his
his
comedian
Bits
side.
are his thing. He can't chase that part of himself away.
most important. It's been hidden in plain view the entire time. This is the ultimate secret, and it's about to be exposed.
Oh, you know what Bill's doing? He's going for that anti-marketing dollar. That's a good market. He's very smart.
They're already ready for us. If we don't play ball, they'll just turn the economy off. Well, here, we'll just turn you off politically, knowing you're behind it. Because this only works, you kleptocratic con men scum, if no one knows that you didn't do
I
it.
love the words he makes up.
You know what Bill's doing now? He's going for the righteous indignation dollar. That's a big dollar. A lot of people are feeling that indignation. We've done research. Huge market. He's doing a good thing.
You've got to get mad. You've got to get angry. You got to find your humanity, and you got to start kicking some New World Order ass in the info war.
Ooh, the anger dollar. Huge.
Oh, man.
Huge in times of recession. Giant market.
Bill Hicks
Bill's very
laying
bright
out
to do
Alex
that.
Jones right now.
Yeah, man. It's like they're the same
There
dude.
are a lot of people out there that are literally drinking Kool-Aid with lead, mercury, and arsenic in it under the direction of a charismatic leader with the
Who are these fucking guys? There are literally people out there right now drinking rat poison to be on American Idol.
The guys like this are the ones that just like chase me away. You gotta spoon feed it to me.
Yeah.
You gotta make me convince myself. Don't
Yes.
convince me. Trick me into convincing
Yeah,
myself.
don't just bark at me.
Yeah.
of Jones, who also for quite some time claimed that you could make $1 million a year if you were to convince other people to drink the Kool-Aid as well. No, I'm not talking about Jim Jones from Jonestown in Guyana. I'm talking about Alex
Ooh,
Jones
wow.
from
Yeah, Jim,
Infowars.
you idiot. I can't believe you mixed
his
those two
Beyond
things up.
Tangy Tangerine.
What'd you do tonight, honey? Oh, we made arsenic childhood food now. Good night. Did you see that? Did everyone see that?
Infomercial. Infowars does have a lot of infomercials.
As
We
you
have
have
found
just
that
heard
out.
in Bill Hicks' stand-up routine, he is very familiar with how marketing is used to manipulate and deceive the general population. Those very tactics are the same tactics that he uses to deceive the awakening public.
Why do woke people always
As
use
seen
webcam
earlier in
mics
the
to
video,
record their
Bill
videos?
Hicks uses real-world events and situations in his comedy routines. Bill Hicks was well aware of what his future role as a producer would entail, as he often spoke of it to his audience under the guise of comedy. He knew exactly what he was doing when he became Alex Jones. Once the public began to eat up the partial truths that Bill Hicks was feeding them under his disguise of Alex Jones, he desperately needed a cover story to conceal the large government paycheck that he was collecting. He needed a cover story that people would buy as to why he had so much money. Buy?
So what, Infowars?
Yes, buy. He first
Oh,
began
the
by
store.
collecting a group of sponsors to plug and sell their products on his show in order to create the illusion that it is his viewers that keep the InfoWars up and running. But Bill Hicks did not stop there. He rapidly began to produce his own line of products to sell, such as his Survival Shield Iodine, Super Male and Female Vitality, as well as a line of gimmicks such as belt buckles, t-shirts, and more.
Damn, that Alex Jones. There's no
We are
slouch in the
currently
merch
living
department.
in the worst recession
Is it
in
dumb that I
history.
wish I had Alex
That being
Jones merch?
said,
Yeah.
But then I'd like always feel like an asshole when I was wearing it.
Because yeah, people wouldn't get you wearing it kind of as a goof or whatever.
Well, because I like him, I just
Yeah.
don't
splurge
like. I don't know. I do like him.
Yeah, you don't like
that?
everything, like what he stands
Because the
for.
controlled opposition is specifically designed to target the lower middle class of the American population. It is this lower middle class of people who flock to InfoWars and eat up the partial truths as to how and why their government is keeping them in a state of poverty. Bill Hicks
It would be a
does
genius-
very good job at presenting the
Genius
illusion that
idea
his products
for the
are
government to
rapidly
just
selling.
make a business out of saying the
those are
government
almost
can't
sold
be
out.
trusted.
One is nickel, silver
Yeah.
nickel plated,
Look
pure
at these
bronze,
fucking belt
made in the
buckles he's
USA.
selling.
Whoa,
Those are almost
those are
completely
fucking
sold out. We've got some of
awesome.
the straight bronze
Look
ones
how
left.
fucking
I
cool
think this
those
is
are.
good. But we've got 500 of
Bringing
each
it back
of
to
the new Moan Labe.
1776.
And when they're gone, they're collectors. That's it.
I don't know what Moan
And these
Oabe
will
is.
sell out quickly. They're $45.
He uses common marketing statements in order to make the viewer believe that there are only a few products left in stock and that he is
When there are
really trying to
clearly
get more.
lots of products.
Look, listen. We're going to keep selling the Survival Shield. It's excellent, the regular. And it's great for kids and things because it's not as strong as this. And I got to be honest, folks, we can't even keep enough of this in.
We have all heard similar
I wonder his
statements,
vitality. Is it
especially
about
in
being like
regards to his
it's
snake
like
oil products.
being sexy, being like
InfoWars
Yeah, like
has
you're getting
rapidly
great
become
hard-ons?
nothing
Yeah.
more than a
Should I
very
try some
long
survival shield and fuck my
infomercial.
girlfriend and see if it's better?
The most telling way to determine
if you really want to be
whether
an
or
Alex
not
Jones in the
somebody is
sheets,
controlled
you gotta
opposition
get this male
is by
vitality.
A
listening
lot of you
to
are
how
Alex
the
Jones in the
facts
streets,
are
but have you ever
presented.
wanted to be Alex Jones in
Some
the sheets?
facts may only be partially presented.
Prison Planet in
and
the
then
streets,
some are
InfoWars in the
completely
sheets.
hidden. Often there are blatant
Ah, fuck,
lies
that's fucking
presented
fantastic,
to
Jim.
the unsuspecting public in order to create a specific reaction.
War in Chechnya is raging in Grozny with
Yeah, I guess
reports
Alex
of
Jones
hundreds of thousands dying.
did go off on
20 to
Y2K,
40,000
of
civilians
course.
trapped in the city. Russian Hinds are being shot down. Tanks are being blown to bits. Massive Grad unguided rocket attacks are being launched on the city indiscriminately right now. Air
Wait,
and artillery.
was he saying that all these things
Yeah,
were happening?
he was lying.
Ooh, yikes! Because they mentioned something about Y2K when he was on Rogan, but he said he just bought into it because the station told him to buy into it, and that it's something to do with a sponsor or something like that. And he says he regrets it. It's one of the one things he regretted. But I didn't realize he was on the air doing like a fucking War of the Worlds. Clearly, I'm just trying to be like an Orson Welles. It was just a little bit I was doing. Just a little
Call me Orson, please, from now on.
Just a little Y2K bit.
Artillery bombardments as well. It's absolutely out of control. It is pandemic, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you the news first on Y2K. The newest developments: a Pennsylvania nuclear plant has been shut down. One of the main systems transferring the power from it failed, but they say it's not a Y2K problem. And the things I'm experiencing here in Austin, Texas: the shelves are empty of water and some gas stations are running out of fuel.
Oh, Jesus.
But
Come
also,
on, Alex.
another way to discern a controlled opposition is when you see the person completely change their opinion, story, or recant a previous statement. In fact, it was one particular moment that encouraged us to take a closer look into Alex Jones, and it was then that we discovered who he really was.
I want you to realize I'm not making this stuff up. But I shouldn't even quasi-joke around about Michelle being a tranny. That was wrong. And not that they even attack me for it. In justifies the means.
It's like about Michelle Obama, I assume.
Gotta be.
I just get real cynical in a bad mood sometimes and make sick jokes out of things.
But Bill Hicks was not joking.
So wait,
He was
that's the
very
thing that got
serious
them
and
to
quite
research
troubled
this
by
guy?
the revelation
Well,
of
let's see.
Michelle Obama's true gender. It was obvious that he did not know the truth about this until he saw the video, Irrefutable Proof that Michelle Obama is a man.
Oh, they're mad because he said it as like a goof, like he was annoyed, and he's like, that tranny.
Oh, and they're mad because they've proven
and
she's a man?
Yeah, and they're saying, well, yeah, he's just trying to go back on that she's actually a man. So that's the people we're dealing with. We're dealing with the people that believe it's irrefutable.
Can you
that
make
Michelle
a note?
Obama is actually,
because
yes.
another woke show episode has to be, I didn't even know this existed.
Behold your queen, the queen of Sodom.
I didn't even know that Michelle Obama was apparently a man. Then again, looking at this picture of him, it's like pretty clear that he's a man.
I mean,
look at those arms, dude.
He's a man, but it's 2017. We use her preferred pronouns.
Really quick, my girlfriend was listening to that episode where you asked that question, and I'm confused for like 45 minutes.
Yeah,
and she was so mad at me, like just sitting there, like, Mike, what don't you get? And like she was trying to explain it to me in real life while it played on my car.
Oh, it's great.
Bill Hicks believed that he knew everything, but he completely fell apart on his live broadcast when the revelation of Michelle Obama's true gender became too
I like
much
that they
for him
call
to
him Bill
contain.
Hicks. Like they're doing the thing. They refuse to call him Alex
she
Jones.
always wears these weird fluffy things around her waist, and her shoulders are wide enough to put 3 men's heads on. And of course, you know the classic thing of a male. You could have 3 heads on a male's shoulders.
Is that the classic
and
thing of a
only
male?
another head on a woman's shoulder.
Well, when you think about a woman's shoulders, you can have a 2-headed woman, but you can have a 3-headed man.
I know them talking about broad shoulders, but I didn't know the 3 heads theory.
Like that's a scientific, if you just 9 out of 10 scientists will say clearly
here's the irrefutable fact.
You could never have a 3-headed woman.
Or 1/2 of a head on each side. That's a well-known thing in anatomy. And I saw a online video that I may air today, and we may look into this.
Tim, I start second-guessing my
talking
shoulders
about Michelle
now.
Obama
Could I fit
looking
3
like a
human
man,
heads on
dude.
my?
and how they
You
only
easily
release
could, Jim.
photos of her with her hands up, covering her shoulders, or her turned at an angle. And I started looking at it with Joan Rivers saying she's a transvestite. And I'd been hearing this for years, and I thought, come on. I know Obama was raised by a transvestite and the rest of it, and I'm not getting into bashing people. That's not my cup of tea.
I love how he does
But
that.
I
He's
started
so
to
good at
really
it.
Last
He's very
night,
good at
look
that.
at videos of this and look at photos of her and the official White House photo, and she looks like an NBA center. I mean, she looks more like Shaquille O'Neal than a black woman.
The mistake that Bill Hicks made was that he did not check with his CIA handlers before broadcasting his discovery. He even went as far as presenting a special report about Michelle Obama's true gender.
Well, you never know what to expect on the Alex Jones show, and this morning the topic came up.
I love that InfoWars has a show talking about its own show.
Yeah, they're
I
just
know
breaking
that might sound
down their
ridiculous,
own
but
thing.
is it?
Mr.
After all, there are many
What is that
questions
cartoon they
surrounding
have
the
next to?
Yeah, wait, why did... What? Yeah.
What is that?
What is that?
President's past, and now people are starting to question the sexual orientation of the First Lady. Alex Jones has a special report on that from our new television studio in Austin, Texas. But first, here's what Joan Rivers had to say to kick the controversy into the mainstream.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
a transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Joan Rivers talked about it in the last few days, and it's a big international news story.
That is a hell of a
the question
studio.
Is,
What a great
who
studio.
is Michelle Obama? Is she really a woman? Is she a man? Every time I look at Michelle or Michael Obama, the first lady or the first tranny, every time
okay,
I
I get
look
it.
at them, something doesn't look right. She doesn't look like any black woman or any woman I've ever known. She's got shoulders that are wider than a man's, which physiologically doesn't happen.
He's gonna do the. Here we go.
Again, you can put
we already know the three
heads
The
on a
three-head
man's
rule.
shoulders
Thanks.
and only 2 heads on a woman's shoulders. That's a known anatomy. And then women generally have wider hips than men do. And you look at her arms and the rest of it, when she's standing straight on, she looks like no woman I have ever seen.
She's got nice
except
traps, I guess.
for people who have had different chromosomal disorders who choose to be a woman. And I've got the statistics and the numbers right here in front of me. We're seeing more and more of these chromosomal
This is
disorders
Alex Jones'
all the
show, by
toxic
the way.
waste and GMO
Get a whole
that's been
segment
introduced.
on
One of them is the
Michelle
Klinefelter
Obama
syndrome,
or
the
Michael
double
Obama.
XY,
Yeah, I was about to correct
where
you, Jim.
you
I'm glad
basically
you
are
corrected
part
yourself.
female, part male, and then generally around puberty or even younger, the person needs to choose who they're going to be. But Joan Rivers, obviously, while officiating at a gay wedding, was basically asked about if America would accept this, and you know, she said, "Well, we already have a gay president and his transvestite wife." You know, for me, this isn't really a laughing
Well,
matter
transvestite and a
because
transgender
not
are
just the
different.
sexuality, but the very genetics of the human species.
Well, think
across
about
the
when this
board
was all done,
is
though,
being
Jim.
manipulated.
This was 7 years ago. It was a very different world
Bill
back then.
Hicks even goes as far as throwing a red herring into his spill about Michelle Obama's true gender by suggesting, even in the special report, that Michelle Obama may have Klinefelter syndrome. Unfortunately for Bill Hicks, his theory has failed him, as Michelle Obama has no symptoms of this genetic disorder. But since Bill
Did they
Hicks
blank
really
out the dick?
isn't
That's what I
a
said, why'd
true
they cover the
journalist,
penis but not the
we are
gross
not
vagina?
surprised that he didn't do any research into Klinefelter syndrome. The treatment for Klinefelter syndrome is hormone therapy by increasing the amount of testosterone, because it is testosterone that the man lacks, which causes a male to have more feminine features. It was certainly not Michelle Obama's feminine features that led to the production of irrefutable
Oh,
proof
shit.
that Michelle
Got
Obama
you there,
is a man.
Bill Hicks.
But even if he suggested that Michelle Obama had a female form of Klinefelter syndrome, which is called Turner syndrome, we would have found fallacies in that theory as well.
Phallus.
While
I like what
Klinefelter
they're
syndrome
doing.
causes a man to be tall of stature with feminine features, Turner syndrome causes a woman to be very short of stature with masculine features. And
So it
in
makes like a
either
troll
case,
woman.
it would cause
Yeah, you
infertility.
become like a monster dwarf.
It was then that he was contacted and told to completely recant everything. It wasn't
and then, of
long
course,
after
Joan
making
Rivers
this
died
statement
after she
that
said
Joan
that.
Rivers had died under suspicious circumstances. And so, what does Bill Hicks do? He presents another special report, recanting his previous statements yet again by stating that he was joking like Joan Rivers.
Some people are going to say that Joan Rivers was killed because she joked around a month ago saying that Obama was gay and that Michelle Obama was a tranny.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
a transgender.
It'd be great if
We
she's
all
walking.
know.
We joked
She
around
says
about
that as she's
well.
walking into
Mainstream
like the
media,
plastic
picked
surgeon
it
and
up
she
as
just
if we were being
dies that day.
serious. I don't think she was killed.
She makes
by
a
the
statement and
Obama
just dies
administration by doing
immediately.
As you can clearly see, Bill Hicks was not joking. He was very serious. But things got very serious for him
just afraid he was
when
gonna
he
die.
was contacted by his CIA handlers and ordered to completely recant his previous statements. And this is controlled opposition.
That's true. It does.
Here
look
you go,
like controlled
America.
opposition to
You
me.
are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you.
Closing statements. Here we go. Sum it all up for me.
If you're still a little
Bill
sleepy.
Hicks was not just a great comedian. He was well
also a
informed
great
about what was
broadcaster.
going on in our society.
Amazing newsman.
But instead of just revealing the truth to the people, he made jokes about it. His comedy included the government poisoning our children, abortion, the ignorance of society, people believing that everything is okay, and that
I love
there
that
is
this
a
guy's
power-
talking about these terrible things and you can hear he's smiling.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
Poisoning children. Killing the
He's
elderly.
cracking himself up.
our elite of people who own, run, and control everything. It is important to note that it is impossible for someone like Bill Hicks to fake their death without government involvement, as this would be necessary in order to falsify death records. This fact was the clue that led us to realize that there was a direct CIA involvement, as they must know
I love that
Bill
type
Hicks
of track of mind
assumed
where
the
like,
identity
you can't
of
fake it. But
Yeah.
since he did, that means the government's involved.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, what a great dumb thing to make up for when the thing you're talking about is impossible.
For when it's you build it into your explanation. So when someone says, "But how could someone fake their own death?" It's like, were you not listening? I just said he was recruited by the CIA.
Yeah, obviously, you can't fake your own death. So since he did, the government helped him.
Alex Jones. Otherwise, they wouldn't be very intelligent, now would they? Apparently, Bill Hicks is not very careful with his words. It is the blatant lies, partial truths, and things that he refuses to speak about on InfoWars that have led many people to discover that he is not who he says he is. In our case, it was when he completely recanted his previous statements regarding Michelle Obama's true gender.
That really rubbed these people the wrong way.
They hate that he decided not to agree.
Every time I look at Michelle or Michael Obama, the first lady or the first tranny, every time I look at them, something doesn't look right. She doesn't look like any black woman or any woman I've ever known.
Head rule.
She's got shoulders that are wider than a man. Because she joked around a month ago saying that Obama was gay, and
there are many people around the world.
Because she joked around a month ago saying that Obama was gay and that Michelle Obama was a tranny.
You know Michelle is a tranny.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
And Obama's a faggot.
Transgender. We all know.
We joked around about that as well. The mainstream media picked it up as if we were being serious.
There are many people around the world who have caught on to the fact that InfoWars is a controlled opposition front for the one world government. The one world government's plans are in full swing and are rapidly moving forward through the mainstream media and controlled
opposition. It's kind of like watching a Marvel movie when you see like references to other conspiracy theories in one. Like, oh shit, that's fucking...
Oh, that was a reference to Captain Marvel.
Oh man, you gotta watch it, then you'll get what that flag means.
They are working desperately
look at the dumb effect they're using to make it sound like the flag's waving.
Plans are unfolding. And what they have planned for you, the viewer of this video, is laid out in its entirety at testimonyofthetoWitnesses.com. But you had better fasten your seatbelt.
I can't believe that website name wasn't already taken.
Can be quite surprising to hear.
Ooh, leave you.
I am really Bill Hicks. Yes, I am the son of Obama, Bill Hicks. Folks, I am Bill Hicks. I am Bill Hicks. Come on.
I love they're using his joke like as see
he joked about it so many times.
See, what are the conditions? Because we're gonna download and upload this. It probably will be edited. It will be on our Patreon.
Definitely monetized.
And there will not be a link to the original video.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
Yeah, what are you going to do about it? Fuck you. You're using all clips in this were not your own production.
Yeah, hey, Castle Jennifer Bassett, eat my ass.
They did have some clips of him talking. I want to just see what he says on his video about it. I'm sure it's just him goofing around on it. Him just having some fun with
just
some
doing
bits.
some great Bill Hicks bits.
Yeah, because InfoWars made and Alex Jones admits he's Bill Hicks.
Oh, they made their own?
Yeah, this was not too long after that started gaining some steam, I believe.
I don't normally cover, let's be honest, 95% of the news articles about me. Every day, there's a whole bunch of big blogs or online newspapers, Daily Beast, Raw Story, Young Turks, the list goes on and on that attack us. Media Matters, White House Run, MSNBC every few weeks. I was told I was attacked on MSNBC last night by somebody I saw at a gas station, but we don't just cover stuff because it's about us. We cover it if it illustrates something. Don Salazar walked up to me before the show today and he said, have you seen this? And reportedly, this is in the magazine as well, which is in pretty much every Texas home. It is a big magazine.
That's the article we were just on.
It's in the top 20 in the country.
They didn't make the video, but they just wrote about it.
In a serious profile they did that was pretty fair overall. This is bizarre, and this is getting really weird. The article halfway looks at it and is halfway serious, saying, I may be Bill Hicks, basically. I mean, this is really getting weird now. People have gone to Rockwall, Texas, and gotten my annuals. They've gone and somehow got my birth certificate, and then they think that's fake. And all because Kevin Booth lived here in Austin, he lives in L.A. now, and I knew him at Access Television. He'd produced some of Bill Hicks's records and Ninja Bachelor Party. And so, therefore, I look a little bit like Bill Hicks, so I'm him. I mean, this is just Twilight Zone to have a major magazine.
It's weird hearing a conspiracy nut talk about how crazy someone else is.
I can't believe they connected all these real thin dots. That sounds ridiculous.
I can't believe it. They're getting they're demanding my birth certificate. Then they're saying it's fake.
Yeah.
What is that? That's ridiculous.
It's all the type of stuff he's always saying about what other people do.
I mean, can you imagine? Because I've talked to some of the family years ago. This has been going on for about 5 years. They're very upset about this. I mean, Bill Hicks is in the ground, folks. Kevin was there when he died. Pancreatic cancer. It's not funny.
He shit
Get him
himself.
Number two thing I disagree with. And on a little bit lighter note, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to you, and I'm not really sure that you're not Bill Hicks.
Are you serious?
No, I'm not. I'm just with you.
What do you think about Texas Monthly, like, doing a whole report on it?
I don't know. I think it's good fodder out there. You know, it gets you a lot of listeners on YouTube and things like that. So I wouldn't fight it too much.
Well, I've already had like 3 or 4 times over the years. I'll be in a restaurant or at the grocery store, and it's like, Bill. And I'm sitting there ignoring it, and because, I mean, I'm not Bill. And then they go, hey, Alex. And I turn around and they go, oh, I was just seeing if you're Bill Hicks.
The way he said that sounded like Bill Hicks telling a story about how he's about like, oh, yeah, I'm not Bill Hicks.
And there's that thing they would pick up on because he says, and I'm sitting there ignoring it, and then he goes, because I'm not Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
But it's like, why would you even be ignoring it? Huh? You wouldn't need to ignore it. You just wouldn't think anything of it.
Yeah,
you wouldn't think you're Bill.
You just hear some guy saying it, and you just doing your life.
You just assume they're talking to someone named Bill.
Back when I was Bill Hicks. I mean, it's just crazy. He may have some Welsh genetics or something. If you ever go up to the Welsh country, Wales and stuff.
What if he started saying, like, look at me, I'm an out-of-shape piece of shit. Like, clearly, I'm not Bill Hicks.
Everybody kind of looks like me. I think those are the dominant genes here. But I look about as Gaelic as it gets, folks. And they'll go, he's gay, you know. People are so ignorant.
I was actually thinking that.
People are so ignorant, Jim.
I was trying to put something together on that, too. Good call, Bill Hicks.
He got you, dude.
I mean, I'm not Bill Hicks, ladies and gentlemen. He could look like a cousin, maybe. I mean, he had, like, dark brown hair. I got light brown hair now. I used to be blonde. I mean, it's just insane. But, you know, they're just going to say now they've almost got me. They've almost exposed me. Oh, man, we've got all this serious stuff to deal with. And a caller just brought this up. It's in the magazine, one of the biggest in the country. Texas Monthly is huge.
Why is he acting like a caller brought it up? He just told us that one of his guys
the headline is
it out.
The conspiracy theory that Alex Jones is actually legendary, long-dead Texas comedian Bill Hicks. And they tongue-in-cheek look at it like it could be true. We can scroll through it for TV viewers. We're going to post the article up on Infowars.com. This has been going on 5-6 years, and I know it annoys the family because their son's dead, and it's pretty painful to have this brought up.
Is he just going to say the same thing over and over again? Well, there's only a couple minutes left.
And it's just crazy.
Because, again, I think his show is like
totally
hours
crazy.
and hours.
And it shows how people can latch on to something that's a real conspiracy theory. And then, meanwhile, the Federal Reserve is not federal. And it's raping the country, sucking us dry. 10 million people's deaths is a statistic, basically. And it's just you can have something that is so asinine.
Like people believe in this conspiracy theory, but none of mine. It's so crazy to me.
It's like the white supremacists with all this made-up stuff about me.
And they don't know about the
lying
killer
about
grid,
me constantly. I mean,
killer
it's just
robots.
crazy. And by the way, if you knew how the web worked, idiots, it doesn't hurt me that you're doing all that. In this world of billions of websites and hundreds of millions of people posting every few minutes, all of your negative attacks only create more buzz.
Yeah. Hey,
say,
haters gonna hate,
better
he's
check
saying,
this out.
basically.
So they come here to hear what we actually stand for. Not racism against blacks, racism against Asians, Jews, whites, Christians. I just want freedom. I'm not Islamophobic, but I don't support our government funding radical Islamicists. And then I got to get attacked by some of the radical Islamicists that I'm anti, Arab or anti-Islam. Man, I'm just anti-tyranny. And it can come in any shape, form, or group. Now, that's where I stand. Jakari, you were just marveling about Texas Monthly investigating about Bill Hicks.
I just think it's funny. It keeps coming up every few months, when people make videos on YouTube or whatever. And I guess I just don't understand why it's
a black
Bill
man
Hicks.
here.
Because I see, they say Biggs is who do they say? Well, they say he's somebody. I can't
I'm all
remember.
kinds of stuff, apparently.
Yeah, he's
I'm a reptilian shapeshifter, too, like Joe.
And then, of course, me. They think I'm every black guy.
They think I'm Montel Jordan.
They think I'm Denzel
Michael
Washington.
Jordan, Denzel.
Paul Joseph Watson as well.
But it shows that people just don't believe anything now.
Yeah.
They just don't believe the system, anything.
I had a guy email me the other day. He's like, because I was joking with Paul on his Facebook page. I was like, yeah, I'm a reptilian shapeshifter too. And the guy emailed me. He goes, are you really? Just be honest. Are you here to
Are
harm
these
the
people
humans?
surprised that some of their biggest fans are dumb and don't get jokes?
Well, I love that they're like, yeah, these idiots believe anything. And they're like, yeah, anyway, back to InfoWars.
Anyways, yeah.
Serious?
People believe what they want to believe.
And then that's used to discredit us.
Yeah.
We have the Army documents that are public that they're setting all this up. Nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
We have all the official chemtrail admissions. Nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a huge viral story that I'm Bill Hicks. I'll come clean on it.
Is it a sleeveless vest or does it have
10 videos
fabric
tomorrow.
sleeves?
Alex Jones admits it.
Oh, my goodness. Really, I'm 51. That's what he would be, I guess. I don't look older than 40, but, man, maybe 45?
No.
How old did you say I look, Jakari?
Probably 40, 41.
Yeah.
39.
Fucking liar.
Yeah.
40.
50, 60, 70.
I'd say 45. I'd give him 45 probably.
I'd say top
You
end
are
of
wa-
40 for sure.
Yeah.
Watching the best of the
Let's see
Alex
if there's
Jones
an
Show,
ad on
weekdays
this.
from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. Watch live at Infowars.com/show.
No, just standard. I was trying to see if they had coffee or some shit. Well, there you have it, people. I think it's pretty clear what happened to Bill Hicks.
If you didn't know, then you know.
Yeah.
Now you know.
If you don't know, now you know on The Woke Show.
Yeah, thank you.